The Cincinnati Bengals have lit up the NFL, and a lot of it has to do with rookie wide receiver Ja'Marr Chase, who was taken instead of offensive line help, but it worked out tremendously despite the NFL media's claims against it. I was one of them, but Ja'Marr Chase has proven all of us wrong. Now that the Bengals have made the Super Bowl, let's look at why we were so wrong. What's up, guys? I'm Tyler Coker, and I'm your host for today's episode of Today with Tyler. I hope you enjoy. The first play we're going to look at was a 44-yard gain to start off the second half. The Chiefs' defense is giving the Bengals a cover 2 zone look, which is signified by the isolated corner on the weak side with nobody to cover. The Bengals, in response, lined up in a formation echoing twins, with both of their wide receivers, T. Higgins and Ja'Marr Chase, lined up in the slot close to the line on the strong side of the field. With Joe Burrow under center and Joe Mixon, the single back, their running back 2, Samaje Perine, was attached to the line on the strong side. On the weak side, the only man present aside from the necessary lineman is tight end CJ Uzomah, and he was also attached to the line. Both Uzomah and Perine will stay home to block, and Mixon will run a flat from the backfield. As for the wide receivers, T. Higgins and Ja'Marr Chase will run 2 deep routes to make safety Tyrann Mathieu choose between one of them, and then Higgins will break into a deep corner while Chase keeps running a deep fade. Mathieu ends up picking Chase's route, leaving Higgins virtually uncovered for an easy completion for Joe Burrow, although the throw is slightly underthrown. What made this play work so well, though? When running the deep routes, there were many ways each wide receiver could go. Given that they both went deep, Tyrann Mathieu had to consider the many ways they could break to get open. First, let's start with the options for T. Higgins. Higgins, outside of Chase, could continue out on a fade. He could break into a corner, as he actually does in this play. He could break the other way into a post. He could cut back into a deep hitch, as well as cutting straight in for a dig route or straight out for an out route. That's 6 options, just for one of the 2 receivers running full speed at Tyrann Mathieu. Adding on to the pressure of reading the routes is Ja'Marr Chase, the future Rookie of the Year, who is already ripping apart defenses like the Chiefs. Chase could run each of the 6 routes Higgins runs, and he could also including the deep fade he actually runs, and could cut back to a wide variety of angles to create conflict underneath Higgins' route. The variety of routes that Mathieu even has to consider, plus Chase's speed that ensures nobody can ever recover once he burns you and gets past you, makes for a really deadly combination. And there's no escape for a defense, especially when it's one player like Tyrann Mathieu. Matthew Wiley chooses to take Chase's route, leaving Higgins wide open on his corner. The offense relies on that deep threat of Chase and Higgins, and their speed provides a whopping 11.2 yards per completion, which is 3rd in the NFL, and Chase has allowed this offense to unlock itself, even despite poor offensive line play, because Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase are on such a good page together. The next play we'll look at came in the very next drive. The Chiefs showed a cover 2 man coverage, raising questions for a blitz for Joe Burrow. They did end up blitzing, and they blitzed everyone but Chris Jones, who runs a QB spy, making sure that Burrow didn't try to run himself away from the blitz. The Bengals line up with Joe Burrow in shotgun and Joe Mixon in the pistol, with CJ Uzomah on the offensive left and 3 wide receivers. The line doesn't pick up the blitz well, since they never do, meaning that Burrow has to scramble around in the backfield, and the actual route concept of the play falls apart completely. That being said, the routes were good, and there were many openings, but Ja'Marr Chase adjusted when Burrow escaped the pocket entirely and was nailed for a 22-yard pass. Chase's understanding of football as a rookie is outstanding, and he continues to impress in his rookie year. Simply by understanding how Joe Burrow thinks due to their experience together, Chase is able to find himself open constantly and be a player that defenses and other teams have to game plan around, even though he's only a rookie. Coming into the NFL, Ja'Marr Chase brought in a lot of questions. First, how would he translate his skills to the NFL after a year of absence due to the COVID-19 pandemic? Then, will the Bengals reunite him with Burrow, or will they draft their left tackle of the future? And then once drafted, can he play at a high level in the NFL? But Ja'Marr Chase quelled all of those questions, helping the Bengals defeat the odds and get to the Super Bowl. His understanding of football, his athletic profile, and his playmaking ability have combined with a roster loaded with skill talent to become a great team, and they finally have something to be proud of in Ohio. And yes, that is a shot at Ohio State. Thank you for listening.